It might sound unbelievable, but I am finally moving in to my hobbit house. It certainly sounds unbelievable to me. Alright, so I got these mattresses, 3 of them in fact. Knowing that they're gonna be a really good fit for this sofa. Alright, let's unpack this. Check this out. It is really unbelievable. I have actually built all this by myself. One day, one friend of mine was helping to put up the beams for the roof. Otherwise, all this work, it was actually a lot of work. Now, knowing how much work it was, I'm not sure if I would even start. But yes, let's flip the camera around and make a little tour. So once you get out of your shoes, you're entering the hobbit house, which is now, I guess, complete. Some of the last works were these steps. Man, I actually really like this work. This is so easy. All this interior design decoration compared to what went on. If you check out the video how I built this. This is like playing a game, really. The rest was feeling definitely more like work than this. Very minimalistic, but it is still a staircase. These are some old roots as handles. And if we get to the other side, maybe I'll first show you some of the limestone paint here, which turned out to be pretty nice. So time has come for the final paint. Hopefully I'll not mess it up too much. It is limestone wash. I don't think it's thick enough, but let's see. Probably like 2 layers actually on a lot of places, because first layer was not enough with one method. You really need a good brush when you're using limestone as painting. Look at these views, guys. Wow. So yeah, experimental building techniques here. Here I painted the beam itself. It is also interesting way. So basically like all this side is purely painted, and then here it starts to be naked wood again. So this is a barrier so nobody can fall down from the bed. the staircase. Very sturdy actually. And very much stylish as well, I would say. But yeah, it was so many screws. Drilling, screwing. You can't really imagine. Alright, so I got me some old roots from around. So I guess now the most interesting part is gonna start. The decorations. So I want it to be the first thing your eyes will see. So I'm preparing the last piece of the puzzle. Let me show you how it's gonna look, more or less. There is 5 holes prepared for assembly, and hopefully it's gonna look like a very artistic handlebar, or you know, the barrier that so that nobody falls down from the bed. And because it's all curvy, I hope that fitting it onto the rest of the bed will be actually very easy, so we shall see. So far it's quite an interesting method. Let's hope for the best. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Amazing. So as you can see, I'm doing fires everywhere, not just at my fireplace. Today's fire will not be any big. I just want to warm up some beans because I'm going to the town tomorrow and I basically ran out of fresh food. So it's back to the beans. If you haven't seen my last video, which was kind of a Serbian barbecue DIY, you can check it out in my other videos. Not always I cook something fancy like that. So back to the hobbit house. This beauty behind me was basically out of not knowing what to do with one summer. Maybe it's a little bit visible on this side. There is somebody's house neighboring this property. I did everything I could to block the view so I can have this feeling of being in the middle of nowhere, even though there is village this way. There is a bus station about 6 kilometers. So it is not really that remote, that off-grid, but you totally have that feeling. So it's interesting property, especially now as I got water back in after 5 years. Unbelievable story again, check the other videos. If the algorithm is not showing you my videos, just scroll through and entertain yourself. It was quite fun. I built a dam to navigate a little stream into a reservoir from where the pipes to my house are leading. So now I have the hobbit house where there is no water. In the house next to it, I have a sink I can wash my hands. In the garden, there is another little fountain. So it's now luxury beyond belief. If you ever gonna buy property like this, always think how it's gonna be with water, because nobody can live in the desert. If you're interested in properties, there is also links under every description of my videos. You can find out more what my projects are about. But this particular one, was about basically testing out some techniques, how you can build a house. It is technically a house, not a big one, not suitable for winter. It would need much thicker walls, much more insulation. It is a summer house. Theoretically, it could withstand, you know, Mexican style climate, where basically, tropical. It will be amazing to have this in some tropical paradise, but that must wait until my retirement. I still need to operate and do my part here. It is basically trees that I chopped down and didn't know what to do with them. Then I flattened out the area, put the beams in the ground, and somehow build my way to actually have a house. So for any tiny homes enthusiasts, I can only recommend building with this technique, because it doesn't cost you anything. You're basically making like a skeleton of a house, and then you're plastering it with mud, which literally costs you just your labor and time. So if you have a lot of time, like I do sometimes, you can build yourself a house for almost no money. uh, I don't have much time now, however, so I'm very glad that it's finished, because now it's for me the main season when people are buying and selling houses. So I'm focusing on that. If you're interested in any kind of knowledge whatsoever when it comes to properties in Serbia, let me know in the comments, or contact me directly through email, and I'll try to do my best to enlighten you on this topic. So let's do the beans, shall we? So you see, I still don't have a proper kitchen yet. Since there was no water, there was really no need for a kitchen. I was always eating around, as you do on the construction site. As it comes, you take it, no real luxury, nothing. So it is improvisation. So I'm actually not gonna do really anything special. Just uncover a little bit of the hot stuff. Yeah, it's actually quite hot here. So what I like to do is just to add some olive oil and some spices. Serbian chili, even though it is already spicy, but bit of black pepper, always good. It's actually so hot near the fire, I'm surprised it's not boiling yet. But yeah, this is it. It's not always restaurant style food. I wish you guys could hear all the birds around. It's some kind of ravens and all sorts of different styles. I'm really bad at birds' names, but I really like to listen to them. So This is my sort of Zen garden where I'm getting my inspiration and energy for all the things I'm doing. So it's very important, to have a place where you can just be yourself, relax a little bit. Of course, like I would like to potentially do the proper off-grid kind of thing, where you're actually producing, not consuming. For now, I'm only producing content, but I think in the near future, theoretically, near future, we will be actually forced to live much more connected to the land. A lot of people still don't want to believe this, but the when the food chain is broken, what can you do? You have to go back to growing your food. It's not gonna be enough just to make more money. You know, once there is no fertilizer, you need more cows to keep the land fertile. So more and more people will have to move to the countryside and do something similar to what I'm doing, just out of pure necessity. Now it is kind of for the real fans and hardgoers, but I really can't imagine how it's gonna be in the future. Not like tomorrow or in a week time that we are gonna run out of food, like I don't think that's the case, but every year it's just gonna be getting more and more difficult to live in the city, to maintain all the standards that we have now. If you're watching this in English, most likely you're the privileged one or one of the privileged ones that had the life of luxury compared to people that are basically living in war zones for 30, 40 years, It's crazy. Like half of the world haven't seen any real kind of disaster for a long time. And that's basically whole Europe, if we're not counting Serbia, of course, because that was theoretically the first war of the 21st century, like the new style, just bombarding stuff. Terrible, terrible stuff. So, without getting deeper in unnecessary, deep, dark topics, I will check my beans. So, let's give it a try, eh? Cowboy beans a la hobbit. I can't wait to go sleeping, honestly. Like, it was almost 4 full months building this hobbit house. I just want to know how it feels to wake up in a place like this. And the beans are not bad at all. Bon appetit.